dolls, my name is Kenny K. Royal.
And my name is Martha. Martha! Martha! And I know everybody is always wondering who the fuck is Martha. And you know what? I was too. Because I was like in the movie theater wondering, was this actually like how it was in the comic?
It wasn't. That's not how it went down. Batman didn't get fucking surprised by him saying "Save Martha." That scene, I could do a whole segment on that scene alone about that movie. It was so stupid to me that Superman decided to say it the way he did and didn't feel like he could clarify it. Like, you obviously weren't that much in pain since you sat here and discussed it, or you said it that much, but you can't tell him why you're saying Martha. Child, I can't.
You know, I will forever just be just overthrown by that being such a focal point in the movie.
Not only that, it was like all it took is for him to have the same name as his own mother. For him to be like, we're best friends and I'm going to help you save the world. Even though I just dragged you through this fucking area and beat your ass. But now we best friends.
It was that one simple connection that they had together to remind him that Superman was like at least somewhat close to being a human. And it just, I don't know. It's just the dumbest thing. I can get why, because I guess they needed that one dramatic moment, but it's the dumbest moment they could have ever come up with.
Dumbest of all moments I could ever think of. But anyway, while we're going on about this damn movie, hi guys, this is Kenny and Chemo. We're doing Pop Talk, a new little podcast that we put together. We used to do this on YouTube, but it like fell by the wayside, and I wanted to do it again, but it's just getting dressed up and dolled up to do a video for YouTube is just a lot, and I did not need another thing to put on my plate. So I'm happy that we can bring this to podcast form.
Well, you're already doing a lot of different videos. See, me on the other hand, I'm not doing it. So, but I do like the idea of doing a podcast so that I can be ugly and record and nobody will know. Wow. And I mean, that makes it just so much better and so much more fun, because although I love to dress up, but you know, getting dressed up for like maybe 30 minutes and then having to, you know, wash the makeup off, you already do that enough for like pictures. So, you know, this was really so much more accommodating, especially with, my hectic work schedule. So I guess we'll go ahead and get like head first into our topics.
Oh, I guess I'll go ahead and start first since I'm drinking Pepsi and my topic is about Pepsi, so you know exactly where this is going. The whole situation, it's older, a little bit older now, but it's still kind of fresh because people are equating it to some other events that are happening. But the whole Kendall Jenner's Pepsi ad thing. Now, for me, it is not as big of a deal as people are making it seem, or at least it's going over my head why people are making it seem like it's such a big deal. Have you seen the Pepsi commercial?
I have not. I probably won't.
Well, you definitely won't now because they snatched that shit off the air. Like, there's no way to find it unless somebody like recorded it and posted it somewhere else. But this is how it starts off. So Kendall Jenner is in like, she's doing a photo shoot with some photographer or whatever, and she notices this ruckus going on outside. And so she looks over, and apparently it's a little protest. It's a very vague protest. None of the signs actually say anything besides join the conversation and like peace not war and shit like that. Like very vague statements for a protest. And so Kendall decides to leave the photo shoot and go into the protest with these people. She takes off this blonde wig that she has on and then just has her normal hair out. And she walks in there, she like fist bumps some people in the crowd and grabs a Pepsi. And one of the biggest things that people are comparing this to is like, there's this picture of this black girl who goes up to the police with like flowers or something, and they like bombard her and try to arrest her. And what they did in the Kendall Jenner thing is, I don't know if they meant to kind of make the similarity between those two things, but Kendall just goes up and hands the Pepsi to one of the police officers, as in like, this is a sign of solidarity, let's all just get along. They drink a Pepsi, and that's really the end of the commercial. Child, everybody lost their goddamn mind. Everybody said they were mocking the Black Lives Movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, and all these other protests. They're belittling it and making it seem like it's less than. But I just don't see how that is what you thought it was. It was just another basic ass Pepsi commercial to me.
I just don't see Pepsi doing that. I mean, Pepsi is a supporter of plenty of like black artists and just black people and groups and things. Period. I don't see why they would blatantly bash African Americans. Like I said, I haven't seen the commercial. I've heard people say that, but the only thing I have really heard about the commercial was that Kylie Jenner gave a Pepsi to a police officer, and I was
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
what everybody got so up in arms about, and it made no sense to me because I'm like, okay, well, if you understood where the commercial was coming from, I mean, of course, everybody understands that a Pepsi is not going to save the world. What the statement was saying is this, like, let's have solidarity, let's get along, make love, not war, that kind of thing. But y'all took it totally to a new level with this whole, they're trying to mock Black Lives Matter, which I feel like, why is that the first place you go to? Because in the crowd of like protesters, there were literally, this is probably the most diverse commercial I've seen in a very long time. There was like Hispanic people, Asian, black, white. There were so many people out there that they even showed on camera. Why did you hop and say that they're mocking the Black Lives Matter movement? Like, of all things, why that?
well, the thing is, that's very, very one-sided view of it. I mean, in this day and age, especially like at this current time that we're in right now, there are so many different like minority groups that are protesting. I mean, there are the women, there are the Hispanics, there are the African Americans, there's the gay community. There are so many different minority groups that are protesting for their rights right now. I don't see why to single out only the Black Lives Matter movement when that's not the only movement that's going on right now. But I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I can't really form too much of an opinion on it. I mean, as usual, I would just sit here and say, even though I don't really know what's going on, that I'm pretty sure that whatever is going on is being blown out of proportion because, hey, that's normally what happens. So that's my 2 cents on that.
That's what I think is happening as well. Because, child, there is just not any way, shape, or form that I can see. Pepsi has never been in any kind of tabloid, any news source as like being racist. So why now would you think that
This
they're
would be the
being
wrong
racist?
time. This would be the wrong
Yeah.
time for Pepsi to decide to be racist. But it's almost like just you know. I don't even want to get too much into it because this can really go into a huge rant. But there's so many instances where this has happened, and I would just roll my eyes at it because and it's not just black people; it's just all different kinds of, you know, ethnic, backgrounds where they get really upset or sensitive about certain subjects that really probably wasn't meant to be what they're so sensitive about. I mean, so I don't know. But moving on to the next topic. Okay, so apparently Mariah Carey and Brian Tanaka breaks up after 6 months of dating. And my whole thing is really,
Get
bitch,
that?
who really thought that was going to last? Who thought it was going to last? I honestly think that it was only a publicity stunt. I don't think that it was something that was real. It was something just to have something interesting on her docu-series. And I'm sure, now don't get me wrong, I think that Mariah Carey may have rode that peen a couple times. I mean, why not? I would have. But, I don't think that she took it seriously or he took it seriously. I mean, there's absolutely no way, that was going to be like, oh my goodness, they're going to spend the rest of their lives together.
I remember she went on to, what is that show on Bravo? It's like that with Andy Cohen, one of his little talk show that he has on there. I remember she went up there like maybe a month or so ago, and was talking about the situation. He kept on asking her like, "Is this real? Like, or is this like something where you're just rebounding?" And she wouldn't really answer it. All she kept on saying was like, "I don't want to say anything because it'll spoil the show." So I'm just like, well, obviously, this is just for the show. Because I feel like just saying that statement of, "I need you to watch the show," based on a relationship, if it was real, I don't feel like she would have said something like that. So that's just as much as I could think about it. But I didn't think it was real from the moment I heard that they were together. Like, I already knew that this was some bullshit just so she could look better for this stupid show. Which, I mean, I'm calling it stupid, but I've never seen it, so I don't know how good it is.
But you know, Brian Tanaka is such a random, extremely random person to just pull out of nowhere. And the thing is, yeah, he was our backup dancer, but that was like in what 2005. So I mean, how many years ago was that? I mean, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, you remember that dude, Brandon Tanaka? Let's have him on my show.
Well, speaking of relationships and breaking up, Janet Jackson fucking cashed in and broke up with her man too. Well, I mean, I don't know if they actually got divorced. What she said in her little statement was that they are separating, which I can only assume was going to go towards divorce. Because what everybody has been speculating is that she did it because of that prenuptial agreement. Well, that contract that they call a prenuptial agreement.
Yeah, that is not a prenup. Prenup's supposed to keep a bitch from getting your money. She is getting $500 million. That is not what institutes a prenup.
Simply because she stayed in the relationship for over 5 years. That's what the prenup says. Stay in a relationship for about 5 years and you will get $500 million upon like divorcing or breaking up, whatever, when you guys are getting divorced. And so everybody's rolling with that because literally just 2 months after the 5 years, she breaks up with him. It's very fishy. I mean, I keep seeing a lot of people on Twitter and things. They're like, she's a self-made millionaire. She don't need his money. Bitch, he's a billionaire. Yes, she does. Won't, and she may not need it, but I'm guaranteeing she won't that fucking money.
But I think with where her career is now, I mean, other than probably royalties, she probably won't be making much more money, and so I think she's looking out for her future. I think that marriage was a business.
She had that baby 3 months ago, child. She had that baby to lock that shit down, and then she waited 2 months extra. She was like, "I'm gonna give you your 5 years and 2 months, and then I'm out, bitch."
Right, it's just like peace to that shit. And you know what? It clearly was a business marriage, which happens a lot in celebrity, relationships and in Hollywood and all that type of stuff. A lot of them have like these business marriages just for publicity. So I mean, she made sure she got her money, then she made sure she had that baby so she can get that good old young child support. And I can't knock her for her hustle.
I can't knock it either, because, bitch, if I could get me a billionaire and if I could have a baby, child, let me tell you right now, I'm securing that ass.
Right, locking this shit down.
I don't think I would have necessarily. First of all, that man is fine. I haven't seen him until like yesterday, but he is fine to me.
Well, I love like Middle Eastern type men. They are so sexy to me. And yes, he is fine.
I don't have
me personally. I don't have a type either. But I'm just saying,
I'm a whore.
I love a good Middle Eastern man. And then they so smart, and then they're always like entrepreneurs and shit. I'm just all here for it. But he is sexy, and my whole thing is I would have stayed with him. I mean, what's $500 million when you go ahead and stay with the billion?
I'll go ahead. Say, like, unless I don't see the point of. Well, I see. Okay, so the $500 million, I feel like because of the prenup, is there regardless. After the 5-year mark, you are guaranteed to get $500 million if you leave him or if y'all get divorced. But what's $500 million compared to the billions he has? Bitch, you ain't never gotta worry about shit else if you stay with them. But on that topic. I was looking into it because everybody was just assuming it was because of the prenup thing, that agreement that she left him. What I kept seeing was that she said that he was very like controlling and manipulative and whatever, and it only got worse when she got pregnant. So that's why they're claiming that she's separating from him because of the controlling aspect. But I feel like you knew, because she said he's always been that way, and I'm like, so you knew that 5 years ago.
But this is a Middle Eastern man, bitch. You know what the fuck his culture is. Those are very controlling men, just by fucking heritage. I mean, You knew, and he's a big, powerful billionaire, bitch. You know he controlling. You know that this man is controlling, and from the get-go, before you even started throwing your pussy on him.
She could have found that out. I'll give her at least a year. She could have found that out. Why did you wait 5 years or 2 months? Bitch, regardless if you needed that money, and even if it is because he was too controlling, I feel like, this is just me thinking, she found out maybe 6 months to a year in that he was way too controlling, but they had that agreement set up, that contract, and she was like, bitch, we gonna push this out. because
Right, we gonna get this money, bitch.
I can deal with the controlling this for a little bit longer. And then she was like, well, you know what? Why did you settle for that $500 million? And I'm sure she didn't want to go into trying to renegotiate that prenup. She was like, let me have this baby. And I got a whole another 18 years of your fucking money. So.
Oh my God. But this is going to lead straight into a word from our sponsors.
Oh. If you're anything like me, coffee sometimes just ain't enough. You wake up and go straight for your hot or iced coffee before you even have the patience to hear another human speak. But there are those times where even those coveted sips just don't cut it. I've recently fallen in love with Bailey's Almond, a new almond milk liqueur. Just one shot of it added to your iced coffee can curb that urge to snatch a bitch by her weave. And for you pretentious folks out there, it's gluten-free and vegan. Bailey's Almond, when coffee just ain't enough.
Okay, so our next topic I have here is I was just looking for topics because I was like, I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about, but I just went and I put in current events and like Google and while I was doing that, I saw this particular article about a man being dragged off a United Airlines plane.
Child, that was one of my topics too. Lord.
But maybe you know more about it because the one article that I read didn't really say why he was being dragged off the plane.
I do know more about it, child. I have been looking at the story since it like broke a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. So what all have you seen about it besides just that he got dragged through that bitch?
I saw, yes. I mean, of course, I read that he got dragged off of it. Then I saw that because apparently he's of Asian descent. So like China was really like offended and saying that United Airlines was being racist, and also at first United Airlines were kind of saying that it was his fault that he got dragged off the plane, but then they retracted. Yes. They retracted that statement, and then they were like, okay, now we don't think that we should treat any of our passengers this way. But why exactly was he getting yanked off the plane?
So this is what happened. See, that thing that they put out there, which I feel like a lot of news sources do nowadays, when somebody is being victimized that is like of a minority, they go and try to blame it on that minority and say that it was his fault. What bit them in the ass is that this was recorded, and the entire recording shows what happened there. And on top of that, let me go back to the beginning here. So what happened is, United Airlines, as well as other airlines, they like to overbook a lot. I've never had to deal with the situation personally, but I know that they do this. They will overbook flights, and they will say they do this because some people don't show up, which makes no fucking sense to me, because it seems to me that if somebody bought that ticket and they don't show up, they're not getting a refund for it, because if you ever tried to get a refund from an airline, child, good luck to you. You go right ahead, because it ain't gonna happen. But, if they don't show up, that's that person's fault. Y'all still got the money for the for that seat, so why do you need to overbook? That reason is not justifiable to me. But so they overbooked, and what they needed to do was they needed to get 4 of their crew members on the plane, which they couldn't fit in because they overbooked it. So they were looking for volunteers. Nobody wanted to volunteer to get off and be reimbursed or whatever they were going to do to give them an incentive to do so, because people had places to go. Don't nobody just hop on planes just to get on a fucking plane and go somewhere. If you buy a plane ticket to go somewhere, you have events that you're trying to go to, you have timelines that you have to proceed with. And so, because nobody was volunteering, they had to get like the law enforcement involved to come in and like actually evict some people off of that bitch. This Asian man that they went to, I don't know if he was like the first or one of the like last of the 4 that they had to remove off of the plane by like random choice, but he was not going for it. He was like, no, I got places to be, I got shit to do, I'm not going anywhere. So they took it upon themselves to like just forcibly eject him from that fucking seat. While doing that, his face hit one of those hard-ass armrests, and that's why his face was all bloody, because his head got slammed against that. And damn near gave him a concussion, I'm assuming, because he just went limp after that point. So they had to drag him through the fucking aisle in front of all these customers that are recording this and get him off that damn plane. So, and this is when they came out with that statement saying that he was being very belligerent and yelling and everything like that when they asked him to voluntarily get off the plane. It is not voluntary if you are dragging this bitch off the plane. Voluntary means that you decide to do it yourself. He volunteered to get out of his seat, but he did not. He said, no, bitch, I don't want to do this. And y'all decided to snatch his ass by his weave and get him off that plane. So They tried to say that it was him being belligerent and everything, but the recording shows otherwise. As well as you had like multiple people in the recordings saying like, why are you doing this to him? That's not fair. So I feel like in those kind of situations, if he was being belligerent, people on planes have a very low tolerance for you being annoying. So they would be applauding y'all getting the fuck off the plane. But that's not what the situation was. That's what anybody that was a witness to it said. And so United has had to come repeatedly and retract statements and put out new statements and all this other shit. But only after them fucking stocks dropped. That's when they had to decide to say something.
Man, that's fucked up. You know, because I did also read because apparently he's been in the hospital due to this type of treatment.
I'm sure he probably got a concussion from that. They knocked those damn armrests are hard as fuck, and they threw his head into that. Like, I'm sure his ass was done. And then what killed my heart was one of the videos they were showing him like standing there at the end while like I think his wife or somebody was going to get their bag and like go to him. And he was like, just kill me. Just kill me. With his face just bloody, glasses fucked up. He looked just distraught, child. I was so hurt by that one.
I would have been distraught also. I mean, I just wouldn't even know if I'd want to carry on with my life anymore after that. I mean, not only were you publicly embarrassed on like a very public airplane, but now it's all over the internet. You basically get your ass beat all the way. You know.
It was unnecessary the way that they jerked him out of that seat. Like, if this man told you, I have somewhere to be, he paid good money to get on this First of all, plane tickets are not cheap. So
it's a bitch now.
If he this is what I'm saying. Like, if you buy a plane ticket, nobody that's not rich that buys a plane ticket is just buying it because they felt like, oh, today I'm bored, let me just go fly to Brazil or some shit. Like, nobody's doing that. So if he bought this ticket, he had something he needed to do. So why did you think that because he decided, like, I know they said they were picking at random, but if there's one random person you pick said he can't do it, go to somebody else. Because, and then if you at the end of that can't get somebody, then you need to just keep upping that incentive until somebody's like, well, bitch, that sounds real fucking good to me. Because at the end of the day, these are all paying customers that don't deserve to be treated this way just because you decided to overbook this flight to make more money. The final thing that happened with it, this just happened today, I believe. I saw the news on it. They were some news place, or they were trying to do that whole thing where they take the victim and try to put out something bad about it. They tried to say that he had a criminal record, which I don't see why that would have mattered about the situation. But what they did was they picked the wrong fucking doctor. They got the wrong person and said that this was this man that they dragged through that damn airport, his criminal background, when it wasn't. Which now makes him look even worse. So I feel like when he get out the hospital, he needs to sue.
He definitely needs to sue because it really seems like they were out for his blood, child. But did you have another topic?
No, that was my last one, child.
Okay, I have one more. So apparently T.I. claims that he created trap music. Now,
when?
That's what he claims.
Does he even do trap music anymore?
I don't know if he does it anymore, but he's saying that he was the first person to ever do trap music. He created it. He ushered in a new sound for rap. I mean, he really was like feeling his oats. I don't know, but he was.
Why did he say this? Did somebody ask him about it?
He was like, it was an interview. I can't remember what radio show or whatever he was on, but he was just talking about, oh, well, look, but most people don't know this, but I created trap music. Now, whether or not he did, I'm not here to really refute it because I honestly don't know. I don't really listen to T.I. really.
Yeah, me neither.
And I don't really listen to trap music either. So I really don't have an opinion on whether or not he created it, but I'm just wondering, I'm like, did he really, or is he just really feeling himself right now?
I feel like he's feeling himself because, I mean, again, I don't know either because I don't listen to a lot of his type of rap music. And I can't go back and say, no, this person invented trap music first because I don't listen to it enough to know, like, okay, I can go back to this year where I know T.I. was not rapping and say that he invented it. But it's a very bold statement to say that you did that when you don't have any proof to really back it up. All you did was just say something and didn't really give any facts behind it.
I mean, he did have his second album was called Trap Music, but at the same time,
I could make an album called Trap Music.
I mean, it could be possible that he may have made trap music popular, but to
Yeah.
say he created it, because I feel like, yeah, he's from ATL, and I think that ATL, that trap music is a ATL thing. So I feel like it probably was something that was already there, like underground, and he just made it popular. That's kind of like, Michael Jackson in the moonwalk. He didn't create the moonwalk, but he made it popular.
Yeah.
So it's just like that, really, really fine line where you're saying, "Oh, I created it," which you probably didn't. You probably just made it popular, and it was already something that was already happening.
Yeah, it could have been something that's already happening, like somebody in their basement somewhere making this music. They just don't have the platform for it to be heard by anybody else, and then you decide to come out with it, and now you are saying that you invented it. But I mean, again, I can't really dispute him on that. I don't see it being realistic, to be quite honest. And I would be interested in looking this story up to see if any other rapper, because these rappers love to come.
Oh
for each
yeah,
other's
somebody's
throat.
gonna hop about the fucking woodworks and be like, "Bitch, what? You ain't created shit." But
A
like I
rapper
said, I'm
we
not
ain't
here
heard
to
from
say
in
if he did or
fucking years.
didn't. But my thing is, if it is just something he popularized, and you just say, I popularized it, I made it known to mainstream radio, then saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
I created it, it's all mine,
feel
I
like-
came up with the name and everything."
I feel like what's happening is, or a lot of these rap people, they don't feel like it sounds good enough to say that they popularized it, so they feel like they need to go on and make these bold claims of "I invented this," and it's like, bitch, calm the fuck down. And does T.I. even make his own beats? Like, is that what's happening with this? Because he would have had to make the beats in order to be able to claim that, right?
Because that's what makes it trap, right? The beat. I feel
Yeah.
like it's the beat that makes it trap. And I
Yeah.
don't know. I highly doubt that hardly any of these rappers make their own beats. Not. I mean, some of them do. I know that Kanye, is a producer and stuff like that. But I doubt that T.I. does. But I'm not here to say he doesn't, because, I'm not here to say he doesn't. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about T.I.'s music, really. I mean, I've heard a couple of stuff. I like a couple of his songs. But then I've never heard an album. I've never been interested in listening to an album of his. Because the one thing about rap albums for me is that they're very filler. Like if I ever sit down and listen to a rap album, there might and the thing is, rap albums are usually pretty long. They're usually like 20 fucking tracks, and you listen to it, and I probably like a Drake album, and I probably only like 3 fucking songs off this 20-track album, and that's just a waste of my time to me to listen to 20 songs and only like 3.
Yeah, that is a huge waste of time, child.
Right. I don't even bother you listening to rap albums unless it's like a Missy Elliott album, but I just don't see us getting another one. And I haven't really liked what she's been putting out lately, so I doubt I'd care to even listen to anything she puts out.
I haven't heard anything from Missy Elliott lately.
You haven't heard any of her stuff lately?
No, I haven't heard anything from Missy Elliott other than there's that one song that's like, what is it? The dance that you're doing is dumb. How to do it where you're from. Stick it
Oh.
with your tongue, girl. That's the last thing I heard from that bitch.
She has come out with like a couple of songs. She had that song, what's that, WTF? And there's another song called Pep Rally or something, and then she just came out with a song not too long ago called Better. And I just feel like she's not inspired. It's just not hit me, and I'm a huge Missy Elliott fan, so it's really breaking my heart.
I wish she would, because what I find the issue is with these female rappers, because Nicki Minaj is so much in the forefront right now, which, I mean, she has no choice but to be when nobody else is really doing anything worthwhile. And with that happening, people keep coming out, like these new artists or like these older artists keep getting a grudge and then attacking Nicki. But what you guys ended up doing, in my opinion, is they're putting more attention on Nicki and they're raising her up to be better. Because at the end of the day, like that Remy Ma bitch, what is she doing right now after she came out and dragged Nicki's name through the fucking mud? What is she doing now? Not a single person is asking about her. When they were asking about her, it was only in the context of what she's doing against Nicki. Her career's going nowhere. I think she's doing something with Fat Joe or whatever his name is, but that's not doing shit. And Nicki Nicki has put out 3 songs of her own with other people. She's on 3 other features for other artists. She has her videos and shit coming out. She's still doing her thing. And yet, here's Remy Ma still sitting here. So, I mean, regardless of who they say may have won that whole rap battle, the winner is the person that still has a career going on. And we can all see who that is. So, but I feel like the rest of them, like Missy Elliott doesn't need to compete with Nicki because Missy Elliott's music she doesn't have that kind of rap style. So I feel like she would be in her own lane and she would still be doing good because Missy's music is really good. But when y'all sit here and don't do anything collectively, you just let Nicki be on every fucking song. It's like, how can you really be mad about it? Because you ain't doing shit.
Yeah, there really aren't, and it's sad because there really aren't any other female rappers out right now other than Nicki Minaj. And I'm not really a Nicki fan. I'm definitely not a Remy Ma fan, so I really don't have nothing to say much on either one of them. But but I can't help but know, just like anybody else is living in this world, that listens to pop music, that Nicki is the one that's everywhere, and she's on everybody's
Literally
song.
everywhere.
And she's literally like the only female rapper out right now that's really getting, any play.
Any attention. And that's because she's out there and she's doing things. She doesn't, and what I think a lot of rappers do, she isn't just sticking to, let me support my black fans and only stay in the rap aisle. Nicki has branched herself out so she could be everywhere. She is on Nick Jonas's new song. I think they just finished recording that video. She's on Gucci Mane's song. She's on fucking Jason Derulo. She's on, I forgot who else she's with, but all of these songs are about to start coming out. And it's just different genres of music that she's getting into, that she's placing herself into, and that's so she can get all these awards. A lot of the female rappers, they feel like and black, just male rappers in general, they like to stick just in the bubble of hip hop. They don't like to go outside of that because then they quote unquote are selling out and all of this shit. Bitch, if it's gonna make me more money, if it's gonna make me more successful, I'm gonna sell out as hard as I fucking can. Especially when it's something as juvenile as just branching out.
Yeah, and then, a lot of these people get real comfortable with fucking rapping about the same thing over and over again. But whatever, that's our time. I think this has been a good first episode. I'm really happy with it.
I think it has too. I went on my whole little tirade rant about that United shit just because it has irked me since I've been invested in it for the last couple days. But yeah, I thought this was a very good episode. I think what we did not do at the beginning of this, we introduced our name and everything. We didn't introduce what this podcast was going to be about. But I feel like if you listen to this whole thing and you don't know, then that's your fault.
Well, basically, just to put it here at the end and before we go, this will be a podcast just basically about any type of current events or anything that's happening in pop culture that really is resonating with us at this moment. And it's just our opinions about it. We're not here to tell you, we're here to say the facts. We're also here just to say how it's affected us and how we react to it just on a very, very natural wavelength, and not so much here to try to offend people, but if you are offended, then bitch, deal with it. But other than that, we're really happy to be starting this back up again because this is something we were really passionate about. We just needed to find a new avenue that was going to be more comfortable for the both of us. But thank you so much for listening, and we hope to catch you on the next one.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.